both people know where they're at, and there's just this stalemate. And if there's a situation where, you know, y'all are effectively both dead for this push because y'all have no influence on the game, and I think this is totally valid for you to have this trade because you're comfortable being here. You can trust that your teammates should be able to hold. Obviously, if they start wiping and stuff, there's a little bit of a buffer with this, but I love your patience here. This is the value that you get from being in this type of spot. Because this person wants to go for this pick, but they also need to help this push. You've made the decision, hey, I can sit here all day. I'm fine sitting here for the next 2 minutes and 44 seconds. And if you want to play the game, you have to get past me. And I'm not trying to like give you an opportunity to take a fight from up here. You have to fully reposition in a spot in order to play the game. This decision making is so good. This person panics and they're like, oh, I need to go help, which they probably should. I don't know what they should do in the spot. This is really uncomfortable for them. I'm uncomfortable trying to make a decision for them. You could potentially jump to your teammates, but like, I don't know what you do in this spot. I don't know. That's actually interesting. It's really tough. They might be able to throw fizzy bombs. I don't think they just drop. It's like, you know that they're here. I don't know. I'd probably throw a fizzy bomb and like maybe swing this way, but you still have to deal with this. I don't know. This is really annoying. It's tough. But when I'm uncomfortable trying to make a decision for this ball point, like, you know that you're in a really good spot. So I love it. Obviously, you know, they can't be doing this. That's a little bold. That's a little bold from them. Oh, you're bullying this ball point. I did not expect to see this game go this way. Rainmaker on Wahoo World. This map does not make you say Wahoo. I didn't even know that there was water. I'm gonna be honest. I've never noticed that there's water around like surrounding this map. So we're Tetris, and when we look at our comp, we have a lot of variety. We're very much a mixed bag. We have like pop-off potential, we have big play potential / pop-off potential. We have mid-range options, which is good for an open map like this, and we have a painter. So, you know, maybe not the most optimal comp, but there's enough tools for us to be able to like play the game and then be able to adapt. But we don't, you know, this isn't necessarily the strongest comp. I think Wiper in an open fight, you just get completely obliterated as a Tetra. So I would probably avoid taking those fights unless you are dropping off of a ledge or you catch them in a spot where they're not looking for you. Ballpoint, obviously going to be a big problem. This is huge in the meta. Inkjets on this map are usually pretty good. The other thing that we want to consider is the pop. So which team has an advantage when it goes for getting the pop on Rainmaker? Anytime you play Rainmaker, that's an exercise you want to do for yourself before the match starts. In this scenario, the enemy team very clearly gets pop. Wiper pops very quickly. They have suction bomb. Dapple's also really, really good at getting pops. Early on as a Tetra, we probably just want to look for like an interesting like flank play. Like we can play underneath on left. We can play around carousel, and we probably want to use that, you know, either drop on people. We can flank behind in certain spots because we're playing against stuff like Wiper and Ballpoint. We probably can't do as much open space bullying because they outrange you. Yeah, I wouldn't even waste the bomb on the pop, to be honest, but it's fine. Yeah, I do like the patient play. Nice. Overall, I love the patience. We find an opportunity and we like go for it. That's sick. That's what we need to be doing. I'm fine with this bully play. I like they're using cover. Nice. So we have 2 decision points here. We can either look to use this wall to get into mid and stop the Rainmaker, or we can continue chasing the backliner. I love that you go for the backliner here. The rest of your team can deal with someone picking up the Rainmaker. Going for this and then moving back this way is just like so good. Like there is a chance that you could potentially like look to move forward and outplay them, but I love the way that you play this. You get information, they're marked, you look for a play, they go back into cover and you use that as an opportunity to reef slider. Like this is like, I'm very impressed by your ability to adapt throughout that entire fight. Like that was a very weird situation you got thrown into, and I think for the most part you like played it very, very well. Oh, I thought you got the pick on the pre-fire. Still really good stuff. See how this goes. Nice. Unfortunate. So one thing I do want to point out, there is this timing window here. We get the first checkpoint, and then this pop is going to happen. And this team wins the pop. Like, you could sit here and help with the pop, but I like that you're taking an aggressive play, but you're taking about the longest approach imaginable. Like, if you know these people are coming out of spawn and they're going to be focused on the Rainmaker, this gives us an opportunity to just slip through this area and shorten that window. So as they're going for this, and we know that they're going to be throwing bombs at it, that you know that they're going to be, you know, charging up and they're focused their eyes this way while the pop is happening, we can take advantage of that, and we want to do that as fast as possible. And that's why we want to use this type of route versus double, triple, quadruple the time and going all the way around. Well, that play is super sick. Yeah, and again, like, I think this is an area you don't need to follow in frontline for your Rainmaker. Like, they can sit back here and just stall with shots. I'd rather you push from a different direction. We can probably roll through here and like start taking space over here, or like roll this way. Or maybe you can flank around them potentially, depending on the spot. This push is overall really good, but again, I think y'all could have potentially KO'd after the first checkpoint if you played it a little bit faster. That's tough. Oh no, not the poor ballpoint. I really love you just bullying the ballpoint, and you're giving trust that your teammates can deal with the Rainmaker. But if you keep ballpoint out of the equation, I think that it's a totally fair trade for your teammates to be in a 3v3. Obviously, if they get wiped and whatever, then you feel bad. But I think on average, this is like great from you. Both people know where they're at, and there's just this stalemate. And if there's a situation where, you know, y'all are effectively both dead for this push because y'all have no influence on the game, and I think this is totally valid for you to have this trade. Because you're comfortable being here, you can trust that your teammates should be able to hold. Obviously, if they start wiping and stuff, there's a little bit of a buffer with this. But I love your patience here. This is the value that you get from being in this type of spot. Because this person wants to go for this pick, but they also need to help this push. You've made the decision, hey, I can sit here all day. I'm fine sitting here for the next 2 minutes and 44 seconds. And if you want to play the game, you have to get past me. And I'm not trying to like give you an opportunity to take a fight from up here. You have to fully reposition in a spot in order to play the game. This decision making is so good. This person panics. And they're like, oh, I need to go help, which they probably should. I don't know what they should do in the spot. This is really uncomfortable for them. I'm uncomfortable trying to make a decision for them. You could potentially jump to your teammates, but like, I don't know what you do in this spot. I don't know. That's actually interesting. It's really tough. They might be able to throw fizzy bombs. I don't think they just drop. It's like, you know that they're here. I don't know. I'd probably throw a fizzy bomb and like maybe swing this way, but you still have to deal with this. I don't know. This is really annoying. It's tough. But when I'm uncomfortable trying to make a decision for this ballpoint, like, you know that you're in a really good spot. So I love it. Obviously, you know, they can't be doing this. That's a little bold. That's a little bold from them. Oh, you're bullying this ballpoint. I did not expect to see this game go this way. So we get this play. I think we actually like play from mid. Like, I'd probably just like start getting some paint in mid and like figure out if I want to approach this way or this way. Take some time to gather some information before we make a decision on what we want to do next. Because now you don't have time to really react. And I think the Reef Slider is pretty creative. But yeah, I don't like that you went for pop. I think you play around mid and look for opportunities to go for stuff. I love that you're going for this type of play. Oh no, the jump. No. Oh, that setup was so good. So I like the angle that you're approaching from. The one thing that I'm a little bit scared of is that you're holding this ledge while the enemy team is still crossing through. Like, this flank is really good regardless. But when people are pushing through this way, if you're sitting on this ledge, like making noise and like showing yourself holding the wall while these people are crossing, you put yourself at risk of getting spotted out here. I do kind of like you holding mid here. I don't know if I would like sit top mid. I'd probably try to be a little bit more patient, play around these types of ledges and stuff without making a ton of noise, and look for potential opportunities to drop. I think the way you played it is fine. Like, you're just collecting information here, but I think you may open yourself up to have potential pick opportunities if you are able to play this a little bit stealthier, and you can potentially roll on people. Not that we need to drop. I like that you didn't take a drop, but we didn't open ourselves up for an opportunity to drop because we weren't looking for those plays. Yeah, we gotta be careful about the ball point. Now we need to play it slow. I'm gonna say at the range at which the timing of this reef slider, I do not like. You're doing it from so far away. These people should be able to retreat. And if they have a ball point still sitting on their plat, like, you're almost gonna die like always in this spot. And you might throw the game by reef slidering this early, but I think you can throw an auto bomb and accomplish the same thing because you're stalling for your teammates to get here, which is the right idea. But I think YOLO max distance reef slider, potentially, again, against like better lobbies, you're just gonna die here. Okay. Again, I like the patience that you have here. I probably wouldn't roll in like this. This goes back to the patient play with the ballpoint earlier. But I don't want us to be running into them because it makes our life harder. We know that this person's moving this way, so the closer that we get to them, the more that like we have to do our turning, and like it makes the aiming on this way harder for us. I would roll here and just sit here because we know that this person's trying to drop or they're coming in the mid. But if we just sit here in turret mode and just pre-fire wherever they're going, this situation is way easier for us. And the reason why it's okay to sit here is if Dapples is just chilling over here, then both you and this Splattershot Pro, like, you have a pinch. You know, like they're stuck over here and you'll have a 2v1, but I'd rather let the play develop a little bit more. We leave ourselves open to these type of options where they can escape, and we could have positioned ourselves to where they can't escape. Oh, that was almost dangerous. Yeah. Nice. Oh. I like you poking for the ball point here. They're not looking at you and you're able to like pop in, go for a fight. You are walking into their shots, which is a little bit dangerous, but you're like, you have 2 quick rolls ready to go. I probably would have kept rolling this way for the second roll just to make sure you're not running into their shots again. Like, we don't have to focus on objective here. Like, we have lead. Rainmaker is on their side of the map and there's only 20 seconds left. I like that we got the pick on the ball point and played off of played an off angle from where the Rainmaker is. But we don't need to like loop around in this kind of section. It puts us in a spot where we're behind someone, like people are spawning in and there's people that are over here. And you know, we don't care if the Rainmaker goes down or not. We just want to be in control. Like, going for this fight isn't bad, and if y'all needed a push, like, you know, you kind of have to force it. The sharking that you were doing down here before in like an earlier play and like watching these people come off a spawn, I like this idea way more than us like trying to force something here. I'd much rather us be in a position like we did before. All these people are going to push past the Rainmaker. We can drop behind. Rainmaker's the last person. They're going to move slow and we just eat them up. Same exact play we did earlier in the game. I think we just got a little bit careless, a little bit lazy, which is very easy to do. There's like this false sense of security that you have. You've bullied the enemy backline. Like, you've played this game so well. You get later into the game, and I felt this as well. Oh yeah, we're winning the game. I'm playing super well. You know, I've popped off this game. I'm MVP. you know, we can carry, and then you start feeling like, you know, immortal basically, and you're just like, I'm just gonna start taking fights, and you just like your ego like gets in the way. You've had a couple of deaths here that the enemy team potentially could take advantage of, so we have to make sure that we're playing solid throughout the entire game, because you've left some gaps in the rest of the game. But again, I love these flanks. You have plenty of time to catch up to the Rainmaker. Oh no, we panicked. Oh my. I would have cried if we lost that game there. The idea was good. Execution was a little tough, but either way, that was a really good game. I don't know what I was expecting out of your gameplay, but I was super, super impressed. I didn't expect you to play that as strongly as you ended up playing it. It feels like you probably have some sort of experience, whether it be fighting games, card games, another shooter, a MOBA. Like it feels like your decision making, or maybe you just played a lot of Splatoon. Feels like your decision making is pretty refined. You play competitive Overwatch and Apex, I gotcha. A lot of Splatoon. Only take it seriously with 3. Yeah, I can tell from the way that you're playing this game that you have competitive experience otherwise. But you know, one of the big focuses is stay solid for 5 minutes. The entire game you need to play like you're sweating. This Splatoon as an overall game is super swingy, and there was a couple of deaths that you had even as a QR Tetra, which a lot of times your QR probably wasn't even available because you were just slaying so much. But there was a couple of spots where they very easily could have taken the lead. And so yeah, don't get lazy. Get that laziness out of here. Which again, it was only at the very, very end where you starting to struggle a little bit. Engagement angles, I guess. Like there was a couple of times where you held mid, like you were holding mid up here and just getting general paint, but you weren't looking for opportunities to like do Tetra things, you know? Like you were playing like a backliner almost, or like just a general painter. Objective priority, and just like know the role that you play. So for the most part, again, you did this very, very well. You understood that you played very confident off of the Rainmaker, and the level of trust that you divvied up to your teammates to stop the objective was very, very good. But there were certain scenarios, like when your team was pushing this with like 20 seconds left, and then you like wrapped around this way. There was another spot. Oh yeah, there was like the random Rainmaker pop that you were going for when it was going on the little carousel thingy, where like there were just random hiccups where you decided that it's important for me to focus on Rainmaker. This relates back to the first one, but it is just one, but it goes without, or I want to reiterate that like if you're trying to compete, if you're trying to like climb in solo queue or something, you want to make sure that like we're sweating. Every moment has to be a sweat opportunity for us. But I think the bigger thing from your perspective is that you're autopiloting. These are probably the symptoms. These are probably the 4 symptoms of your autopilot, because everything that I mentioned is stuff that you did well for like almost the entire game, but throughout different points of the game, you just found these moments where you have like these lapses of judgment. But overall, really, really good stuff. Just super solid. That was fun to watch in terms of discipline. We probably would have been like 15 and like 3 or something, just for the few Rainmaker kills that we probably could have had that we slipped up a little bit on. Super, super good game. Super clean game.